At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Danavan.
Awesome, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I have up to 30 minutes.
You have up to 30 minutes.
Cool.
If you need 30 minutes.
Supposedly, life is supposed to be as efficient and effective as possible, meaning how much can you get done in the shortest amount of time. That's the true value. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but just know that I have 30 minutes to get the message across.
Okay.
But I want to take it to that limit. So Ms. Anderson brought up a couple of great points, and before I introduce myself to you, Sheila, and tell you my story, I'm going to write some key words that she had said so I can stay on track with the message that I'm believing she's hoping that I will deliver. So bear with me for a few seconds.
And I hate that our other two ladies are not here because Danavan is such an inspiring, motivational speaker. And I just felt that whatever is in his spirit is going to hopefully resonate with you.
And I'm sure Sheila will pass the message on to the team. I almost want to say, what particular questions do you have about me as a person, as an individual, before we get into the lesson? Okay, awesome. So I'll just give you the overview. I'm a native of the West Coast, Southern California. San Bernardino to be exact, even though I was born in Los Angeles, which is about 30 minutes away. But I would say the last 10 years of my life in California, I was in San Bernardino, so that's what I rep. So, beautiful wife, Malika, she came with me from California 9 years ago when we were homeless and had nowhere to stay. So we moved out to Nashville. She was my girlfriend at the time, and 2 weeks ago we celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary. Yes. So, they usually say most businesses fail within 5 years, so we technically passed out, even though it's going to continue to get, and I always say the true relationship is about working each day to make it last, so I know it's going to be challenges. I don't see them as challenges, I see it as opportunities for me to learn personally and grow with her. But I've been together six years, 3 beautiful boys that were born and raised here in Nashville. Our oldest son is 7, our middle child is 4, and our youngest son is 4 as well, and they're twins. Okay. But I bring all that to you. Came here homeless, no college degree. I don't have a college degree. My first job, I moved to North Nashville, over there by TSU, and we ended up moving to Nashville. My girlfriend and I was not my wife because we had nowhere to go. We had a few dollars left. Her mom, who she hadn't seen in over 10 years, had just moved from Memphis to Nashville and said, y'all should come out here. Her mom never met me. I was a 22-year-old knucklehead kid, And she had grandbabies and all that all moved, her sister, so it was a bunch of women. But my girlfriend said, I won't come to Tennessee unless my boyfriend comes with me. That girl's my wife. And so I was very fortunate we're going to talk about, take my survival skills and turn it into a career path. You know what I mean? Like, how did that really happen? And why are questions that Ms. Anderson was just talking about really important for, where you want to go? And I think, I'm not going to get too deep into it early, but it takes a few things when it comes to survival skills. And we're going to talk about those things, so it'll give us a better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing every day, so we don't get caught up in the little things. You know what I mean? That's 70% of the battle right there. And so, first of all, if you don't mind me asking, do you know what skills are, the definition of skills, or what is skills? Do you know what that is? Or can you explain to me what you feel the word skill means? No right or wrong answer. Okay. To some, I don't know if this is from Merriam-Webster dictionary, skills means to be an expert, or hopefully I'm spelling it. Knowledgeable. I'm gonna spell like that. Y'all forgive me again. I didn't go to college. So. Hey, I can keep up with you though. But so skills is to be an expert, to be good at something, to be knowledgeable of something. Do you know what the meaning of, or what survival means? Do you know what does survival mean to you? No right or wrong answer.
Doing something just to get back, just to make it.
That's a good way of putting it. I'm gonna keep that in mind. So I was going to say survival is bare minimum just trying to stay alive, trying to exist, you know. But like you said, it can also be seen in a way as just getting by. The question for me becomes, is that intentional or unintentional? But that's a good way of looking at it too. But survival is to just get by or to stay alive. You know, you're basically at the bottom of the barrel. That's not a negative thing. So when we're talking about survival skills, let's talk about, before we get into that, let's talk about what is a career, if you don't mind me asking. What is your idea of a career?
Something that you want to do.
Most people may not say it, but I think this is almost everyone's desire in life. Doing what you want to do. Having that freedom. True liberation. I think passion will set you free. And no right or wrong answer, what is your definition of a path? A path. Someone says like, oh, that's a path right there. No right or wrong answer. What do you think a path is, or what is your... There's a point to all this. Okay. And I would just say a path is kind of, I could be wrong, but my idea of a path is a road, or a direction maybe. I mean, I'm going to just think of some, direction. And so what we're going to talk about for a few minutes, and again, I'm trying to keep it as short as possible with the most effective message for all of us here today. This is a very humbling conversation for me to get an understanding of where I was and where I am now and my responsibility moving forward. So we're talking about going from just trying to make it, just trying to stay alive, to becoming an expert and knowledgeable in something that we want to do to indirectly determine the direction that we want to go for the rest of our life. So we're going to talk about survival skills to career path. That's what we're talking about today. For that to happen though, to be honest with you, there's a few things as far as the root that one has to understand. And we could talk till we're blue in the face, but I would say you have to either be serious about your life, value yourself, value those around you, to truly want to get up every day to do what you're supposed to do to create a career path. Because at the end of the day, this right here, your career path, I'm not saying like it has to happen tomorrow. Everything takes time. But when you look at the end results, the career path, and I could be wrong with this, sometimes it's external factors that can keep you from there. But right now we're talking about things that we ourselves can bypass to become who we're supposed to be. And I lost my train of thought on that. But let's go on somewhere with that. Anyway, so when we're talking about a career path, there's some things that we have to know and just be focused on, which means my whole point is what we're talking about right now, even moving forward, is we have to change our mindset. That's just what it boils down to, because that's what I was going to say. Most people's career paths can indirectly let you know where their mind is. And that sometimes is not always right, because sometimes we put value on material things. But the reality situation is, do you understand the game enough to say, let me get my skills where I need it to be so that I can have insurance, so that I can have a home, so I can have a savings, so I can go on vacation. Unfortunately, those are things that, we want to do and experience, but it takes, unfortunately, in this game, skills in order to reach that road. If you're not focused mentally on what I'm about to talk about, then at the end of the day, no matter what you look at, all your choices, all of what you see will just be staying alive. Everything, like every step you take. And we have to first understand that, I value myself. And sometimes that's hard to do when one may not know what value is. Maybe they never received it, love or that type of support growing up, because their parents never received it. If their parents were even around, with all due respect to that situation, which is not my business. But, it becomes a situation where, and the game is so deep, I would say, because it's mental. Because what we're talking about, I can't get into the meat of what we're talking about until your mind is right.
Right.
So that we can accept what's going on, and for this moment on, let's get it. You know, I mean, we ain't got to talk about getting a job tomorrow, but just little steps. Am I going to wake up and make my bed? Am I going to wake up and just try to, whatever it is, I'm pick up a newspaper, whatever. That's a win. You know, it's a first step. But if we're not there mentally, then all what I'm saying is really just a waste of time.
Right.
And what all the hard work that Miss Donna Anderson is doing really won't become as effective as it should be and could be, you know, because she can get jobs all day long, and if we're not, you know, applying what she's saying, it makes the whole thing, you know, no point, you know, and it hurts people's hearts because some people, like us, you know, we see the other side, the career paths and what that can lead to, and you get a chance to connect with good people in the community that are struggling. And it's like you can do the same thing. All you have to do is become knowledgeable in something.
I saw the other young lady. You go ahead. I'm going to go and see where she is.
And I hope I'm going in the right direction with this, Sheila. Okay. So I probably don't go to church as much as I should. Let you know because you might mess around and see me at the club in a few days. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. Just because you see the suit and tie, don't get that twisted. You go see me, you know, and I pray I'm knocking on wood, the grace of God. Just my life. You know what I mean? But don't think I'm some, you know, that's not my style. But my point is, I don't go to church as much as I should. But the thing about church that they focus on is spiritual. You know, when you go into church, you pretty much go in there with a faith mindset. That's the whole point of that. So that's faith, which is things that can't be seen, but they do exist. You know, so just as much as the physical is real, a prayer and principalities and all that stuff does exist. Hello.
Hello.
And so, Miss Brianna, my name is Danavan Hilton. I'm the guest speaker for today. And what we're talking about right now is survival skills to career path. And when we say survival skills, we're talking about doing more than just staying alive and just doing more just to make it. You know, we're talking about doing more by becoming knowledgeable and expert in something that will allow us to give us the opportunity to do what we want with our life and pursue and direct where we want to go with our own life. You know what I mean? Basically getting our money up, but not just money. With this conversation, hopefully our mental and our spiritual, because all that plays a role in the money that's coming in your pocket. Because sometimes you can get money, and if you're not spiritually balanced, or if you're not mentally, you can actually come out worse than when you had it, you know, and they don't show those people enough, with all due respect.
That's right.
What we're talking about means nothing. What we hope to talk about, because this is probably more important than the information per se, but the point we bring up is when I talk about my point, I just want us to understand that we have to change our minds. So that's where we are, and so I just wanted to put you up to speed. Like, who's this dude coming and talking about whatever? So now we understand. Now that I get into the meat, I just want you to understand 3 things as you move forward in life. Now, survival is a word used in biology, which is one of my favorite subjects. Biology is the study of living organisms, and that could be small as plants and microbes and cells to human beings. Like, we literally are living organisms. And there's 2 things, there's 2 functions in biology, and that's it, which is our world too. That consists of survival and reproduction. Those are the only 2 things that life is all about at the minimum. Survival and reproduction. Now, how much you thrive after your survival is up to you. But the bottom line is the 2 goals is to, before you get out of here, you want to survive as long as you can. You want to reproduce because we can't move around. So my point is, in the life of biology, there's 3 things that we always have to keep in mind. Even when we're talking about the situations that Miss Anderson was talking about, as far as someone said they had a headache, and so when they put the helmet on, and so they walked off the job, I think.
Took off her safety helmet.
Took off her safety helmet. One person said it's slow today, so I'm gonna get out of here and go.
Nothing for me to do, so I'm just leaving.
I'm gonna get out of here. And so that alone, because we're even talking about that, lets you know that the person that we're talking about does not have a plan for their life. Because they're making decisions for today and not making the sacrifices for tomorrow so that you can do what you want to do. My goal, and I say it proudly, and I'm not trying to be materialistic, but you need the monetary to really experience life, is to make as much money as I can. And do it in a way where I'm mentally balanced, right? But still, if I have a growing family, you know, in order for me to truly be who I am to you all, I got to get my relax on and my balance too. So a lot of times I have to shut down, and my way of shutting down is not only resting, it's also to vacate and go somewhere, just get my eyes on something new, smell something new, taste something new, whatever, you know, to be able to come back and continue to do what I want to do. And I feel like all of us need to be able to do that. But the point is, understand there's only 3 things you got to keep in mind when you move forward in life. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? This is basically what we're going to talk about. Does anyone know what knowledge means? And there's no right or wrong answer to that.
Exactly knowing something.
That's it. There's a key word. To know something. To know. Not believe. Not I think. To know. And usually knowing is, if you're looking at it from an integral standpoint, is what truth is. So to know, that's which is fact. So knowledge is facts. We're not talking one of my favorite quotes is the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. Meaning the truth is uncontrovertible, meaning the truth is right there. So there's no point in talking about it. And if you want to talk about it, there's no point in you getting an attitude about it. There's no point in you trying to sabotage it, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. That was said by Winston Churchill. So a lot of times, if you understand that, a lot of the drama could be cut in half in life. You know, even if you're wrong, like, dang it, that's me, you know, and you learn, you know. But my point is, so in everything, we first have to know something. We first have to get knowledge, which means that we have to seek the information. And that's the first step to becoming an expert or skilled so that we can get into the career path. Once we know something and we get the information, we have to actually apply the information, which is what you call wisdom, which is knowledge applied. Okay? Understanding, and in some cultures they call it overstanding, and in some cultures they call it understanding. So I try to be as universal as possible. But understanding is being able to not only apply the knowledge, but also through your walk, show someone else how to do it. That's, again, reproduction, you know. So Ms. Anderson asked a few specific questions, so this should take 5 minutes, 10 minutes or less, because we're going to get right into what she was saying. And again, with this information, and understand that this is a mental conversation first, take this information and apply it, okay? I don't want to get too deep into it and bore us, but so let's see. First, understand all experiences and skills. Okay, so first, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because, are you able to go back to those slides that you were showing?
Which one?
The ones with the construction worker, as well as the person that left because it was slow. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one that we talked about was a construction worker does not wear her hard hat because, well, that's the second one. The first one was a sales associate leaves his job early because there wasn't anything to do, no customers.
Okay, so that right there can let me know that the individual does not have a bigger picture of life, is not focused on where they want to go. Because we first have to understand that every experience and every skill we develop, either at a job or just in the community in any way, is going to help us get better for the big picture.
Right.
So there's always something to do. Why? Because I told myself that I want to get better. I don't need you to tell me to do my job, because I made a commitment to do my job, and I'm going to do it so I can get lifestyle time. You know, yeah, you're going to get production from me, but I'm going to milk you just as much as you milk me. I'm learning everything. I'm asking questions and I'm watching, because that's going to give me the skills and expertise that I need to say, more importantly, through my mental attitude, the manager's going to look at that and just your walk. And just the fact that you're the least one that's always talked about because you're in problems with everybody, because you're trying to be a problem solver, or let's say, problem solver, you know, is going to put you, first of all, in consideration for the next position. that opens up.
We haven't talked today, right?
No.
Okay, I just love when the universe does what it's supposed to do,
Wow.
because you're hitting on a lot of the things that we've already talked about today. And we haven't spoken today, so.
Wow, we have not.
Okay.
And Brianna, I was telling Sheila my story. I'm coming from San Bernardino, Los Angeles area. Been here 9 years. I came here homeless with my girlfriend, who's now my wife. Came here 9 years ago. Girlfriend, she's now my wife for 6 years, having 2 weeks ago. Since coming to Nashville, we've been blessed with 3 beautiful boys. I don't have a college degree, and my first job when I came to Nashville, moved to North Nashville, stayed over by TSU, and so my first job was serving as a janitor, buffing floors, cleaning toilets in Franklin. And here I am today. One, what am I doing? What do I do? So one, I run my own sales and marketing firm. And all I simply do is I help corporations and businesses, help them generate leads in diverse and working communities, areas they really can't reach. So I help them bridge that communication gap. I was able to do that because I did such a great job of serving as a director of marketing for Express Employment Professionals, which is a staffing company in Metro Center. And my job with them was to connect community residents to Express. No more, no less. I did such a great job with that. And I got that job because at the time I was campaigning to run for city council in the district that I was in. And I ended up going to Express. There's a point. I'm trying to tell you how it all comes together. But it's the little things. So for example, me not coming today, when Ms. Anderson asked me to come, knowing I'm not really doing too much, was going to stop whatever blessing that's supposed to happen today. Whatever that, it could be something that's just getting the message out. And that indirectly slows me down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when somebody gets blessed, when you're blessing someone else, you're actually blessing yourself too. All day long. Don't ever think that you're not, you know, so.
But I think people need to hear our stories, because one of the things that I was sharing earlier on is that everyone has a history, everyone has a story.
Absolutely.
And I shared with them that I'm a product of public housing. I had people pour into me. And now it's a privilege and a ministry for me to pour into the people that I serve. And then you come in here and start talking about how you were homeless. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a coincidence.
Wow.
Okay, so.
And I know you're right. And I'll tell you this right now, with all due respect, and I was telling Sheila, I don't go to church as much as I need to. You know, but one thing I do know, I think it's in, because I'll tell you, you're going to see me at the club, so don't act like I'm all holier than thou. I'll tell you right now. But I'm saying.
You got 7 minutes.
Cool. In the book of Job, it said, naked and alone, I've come, and naked alone, I'm going to return. Meaning at the end of the day, even though we do have loved ones and we're maybe responsible for other people, we still have to live our life, because each individual is accountable to live their own. All you can do is help somebody as best you can, even my own sons, you know. But it's up to them for that journey. So my point is, when someone takes time to help you and to help craft you and to help you get better because they see something in you that you're doing for yourself, that is an opportunity to take and run with it all, and you milk that thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? Because if you receive the help and you don't give it 100%, you're going to miss out on the opportunity, and you may never get it back. Because opportunities are designed for you to hop on them as long as until you get to a certain level, and then you hop to the next one. Keep it moving.
You want to see the other one? Or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So we can tell here where this person's mind is at.
This is the construction worker who didn't wear a hard hat because it gave her a headache.
No, you know, in a situation like that, what should that person do? Let me ask you that. A situation like this, and again, let's just.
Go talk to like a supervisor or something instead of just taking it off and not saying nothing.
Maybe the hat's too small. Maybe you just need a bigger hat.
You know,
But you cannot take it off.
and she putting herself in danger too.
Right.
And if she's focused on where she wants to go in life, she has a goal she has to reach. Or did she say she?
Yeah.
Okay, she has to reach. So if the hat is taken off, knowing that it's a safety precaution, she may be in jeopardy to lose her job. She doesn't want to lose her job, but her head is hurting, and she has a direction she wants to go. So in that case, she would be more wise in her choices to say, well, let me talk to somebody to see if I can work this out before putting this opportunity in jeopardy. You know what I mean? So I'll leave you guys with this, because I want to get done before 5 minutes. The opportunity to do more than just stay alive is very real, but you have to take upon yourself to become an expert and knowledgeable in the area that that you see you enjoying and doing as far as doing what you want. And I can guarantee you, can't say that, but 9 times out of 10, sometimes stuff happens and it's still a bigger lesson than that. So don't, but 9 times out of 10, you will get on the right road and you'll be heading in the right direction. Danavan Hilton, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Danavan. Thank you, I do appreciate it, thank you so much.
More than welcome. You may stick around for a minute, or should I?
Whatever you need to do, yeah, that's fine. You can stick around.
I'll stick around for a few minutes.
Okay, we have in front of you, there's a couple of things, ladies, that I put in front of you. And it really is, we talked about, Brianna, when you went to get the baby, Mashita and I talked about job retention and how important that is. So this handout right here is just that. And then, what does it mean? The whole point of today was, what does it mean to develop those professional skills so that you can lead to job retention, so that you can transition into middle class and do all of those things that you do for yourself. We talked about how, I always wanted to, when I had kids, I always wanted to be able to take my kids on vacation because I grew up.